Hey humans, Coach Nate here, sharing another mindful focus with you. In this post, it says, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked in. That is what the storm is all about. The takeaway from that is that, like the weather, we seldom control the storms in our lives, if ever. We can contribute to them, influence them, perhaps by decisions, some but not all. But many we have no control over and didn't bring on, didn't invite. It is simply like, depending on where you live, the climate and what is subject to happen. One part of the world there's earthquakes, another hurricanes, another tornadoes, snowstorms. Life, it happens. Maybe that's stating the obvious, but if we were to look at that analogy of the weather in geographic storms and apply that, and we release trying to control that, and apply that to the storms of our life, release trying to control it. Why? Because resistance is futile. When was the last time you went out and stood in a tornadic activity or snowstorm and no, I don't want you to happen? It laughable. And all that did was potentially put you in harm's way. Similar with the storms of life. If we use all of our time and our energy and focus on trying to resist them, I don't want you to happen, little to anything is going to be done about those, and we stand a chance of actually making our situation even worse. We're using energy that we need for other things and in a futile way, and expending it towards something that isn't going to change the reality of the storm. So resistance is futile. With that, well, that's pretty dire. That doesn't sound very optimistic. It's a reality, but also know this, and Maya Angelou said it best in her quote: even the storms eventually run out of rain. A storm is just that. It is a periodic. It is not persistent. It is not continual. What we face in life, what occurs, generally are situational. What we face in life generally are situational for a period of time. Seldom persistent, seldom continual. That's not a storm. There may be a way of life. We may, for some of us dealing with health issues, may have chronic health, and that's extenuating. That goes on. But the storms, the things that come into our lives, temporary, and that can often be what can help us to get through it, knowing that this will eventually pass through. And in geographical storms, we hunker down, one of the terms used, but we do things to brace, to get ours to navigate through those storms. And in that period of time, we look for the lessons and the learnings that the storm brings. Again, I'm just going to play this analogy all the way out. If you find yourself having to shelter from a tornado or hurricane or something along those lines, you'll learn when that storm passes through what needs to be shored up, what precautions need to be taken if power goes out, what provisions you need to have, when the next storm comes, what is it that I can do differently that will help me prepare and manage through and survive. Now, if it's catastrophic, it's catastrophic. Then we've got nothing to we don't exist anymore. But if it's something that we're going to make our way through, then we look for the lessons. And what it does is shifts our focus away from the bearing down of the storm and depleting our energy and invoking fear and all of those types of things, to something that is more fruitful, something that serves us better as we look for the lessons and then we focus on the future. That mental shift is very powerful. So in terms of let go, live now, win, how? Embrace instead of resist. When you face the storms of life, embrace them like you chose them rather than resist. By embracing, you're going to find the tools, the resources, the ability, the way through that storm. Look for and focus on the lesson. If we shift away from the bad and look for what we can gain, the positive, what takes place in our minds, that mental shift serves us, gives us momentum, courage, strength. It is a potent and powerful flex, if you will, to shift away from fear and being despondent to mentally shifting our minds to something that will help us and enable us to get through it. There are parts of it that we simply need to let go of. If the roof falls off, blows off, it blows off. If this happens, it happens. Putting it in real terms, if the job is lost, it's lost. If the relationship is over, it's over. If the car is gone, it's gone. If the house is gone, it's gone. And even in the worst of things, when we lose loved ones, that's a permanent thing. That nothing we can do to change and alter what has happened. So to dwell there, to focus on there, the milk has been spilled, putting it in the simplest of forms, simply letting go, putting it down, choosing to not dwell or take up residence or live in that bad place, acknowledging it, understanding it, feeling how we feel, and then letting go. Don't bring the baggage that doesn't serve us. And then throughout all of that, the win part is acknowledge your perseverance in going through this storm and celebrate each and every small step of resilience, of courage, of strength, of temperament to be able to face and manage your way through this challenge, even if it means recalling past storms that you didn't think you were going to survive, that you in fact did. I did it then, I can do it again. Back then, I thought that was going to be the end of the world. It wasn't. Neither will this. I will persevere through this. I will celebrate my strength and my courage, my wisdom, the positive things that I do have. What's left after the storm, I'll be grateful for those things and not focus on those things that the storm took, because that does not serve me. And that's the mental shift focus that you can have to help you to manage and navigate through the storms of life. Hoping that makes sense. I'm simply sharing insights, things for you. You can try it or you can toss it. Both answers can be correct, but only you are able to determine which answer works for you, which serves you. Only you can make that determination. If this resonates with you, feel free to give a like and a follow so you're made aware of when I post new content like this to help you in your journey. Until then, let go, live now, and win.